George, I want to come back to you. We've talked quite broadly, and I think there's been an awful lot of politics in what we're discussing, but central to this theme is energy. Energy in many ways is a proxy for geopolitics, but let's focus on energy for the moment. And I wanted to take advantage of your broad strategic vision in this area. And if you can take us through, we're in the middle of an urgent diversification away from dependence on Russia towards alternative sources and routes for the flow of energy. How is that going, that process? Where are the key bottlenecks, and what do we need to do to overcome them?
That's an interesting question.
You've got 2 minutes.
Yeah, I want to pivot and speak to. Last night, Ambassador Aggeler bumped into the CEO of one of the large Greek public companies, who is making investments in green energy all over the world, and they discussed possible investments in North Macedonia. Because I think economic diplomacy is absolutely critical in the Balkans and plays an outsized role, and it's going to be necessary. Greece is probably the largest investor in North Macedonia, and that is what we should emphasize in a relationship. I see my friend General Houpis is here, the Greek Chad. The Greek Air Force flies over North Macedonian skies and protects them, and that is what we should emphasize. So in the totality of the circumstances, we have missed opportunities, but there's also a lot of things that are going right. But we need to emphasize those, but we need to speed up the process, because leaders in these countries in the Balkans need to satisfy a population that is looking to move out, that doesn't see hope and opportunity, and we need to understand that and be better at it. Energy. For years and years and years, Gazprom, Lukoil have used energy and turning off the spigot as a geostrategic tool in an extortive manner. The simple thing is you need to provide alternatives so that countries have options, so they're not shaken down. And I call it, we need to deleverage Gazprom and get Russia off of Europe's neck. So how do we do that? Well, energy diversification, energy transition, and decarbonization. Ambassador Aggeler and I have spent a lot of time trying to get the interconnector from Greece to North Macedonia. That would reduce Russia's leverage in that country. That's a net positive. It would lessen carbon emissions by 60 to 65% and nitrogen by 80 to 85%. I don't know why we haven't already built this thing. Those are the things that we need to do. This interconnectivity, as Greece is the intake place, as they have the existing infrastructure to bring in all sorts of energy, including renewables, and then through investments in their grid. And we need high voltage transmission into Europe and Northern Europe, in addition to working with the TSO operators and the energy ministers, and I spent a lot of time doing this, is this interconnection. They will take the Greek-Bulgarian interconnector from 3 BCM to 4.5 BCM. Those expansions are incredible. We have a new FSRU in Alexandroupoli. That is important. We have to make real the vertical corridor. The existing infrastructure was to bring energy from Russia south. We now need to bring it into Greece and go north. The Ukraine-Gazprom agreement is expiring at the end of the year. How is Ukraine going to keep the lights on? Can we really rely on Russia to be able to do this without being extortive? This is a geostrategic tool for them. We have to make sure that there are alternatives. So how do we do this? There's a 63-kilometer bottleneck in Bulgaria. We need reverse flow. We need compression. There's tremendous storage capability in Ukraine. That is beneficial. So it's really about interconnecting from North Africa, mainly Egypt, Israel, Cyprus, both in terms of LNG, nat gas, and renewables. And Greece is a top 10 country in terms of renewables. 59% of their electricity comes from renewables, and it'll be 80%. So that transition, I applaud Greece's leadership on it. But to be able to interconnect Greece with Bulgaria and Romania and Moldova and Ukraine, and then go westward, not only helps these countries with transit fees, it gives them alternatives, and not just with energy and electricity and data center and logistics and interconnectivity of railroads and roads, and making improvements on borders. This leads to trade. We should do this with ports. 90% of the global economy travels on a ship, which Greece dominates that industry. This is very important to solving inflationary issues, food scarcity issues. It is about cooperation, and energy is the key in the region. I want to be very, very clear. For decades, Russia has used this as a geostrategic tool, and we need to eliminate that arrow from their quiver.
Excellent. Well, I think that's given us a super sense of the gravity of the situation for a perfect place to finish off this panel. There isn't a perfect place. We could have gone all day, but that's as good a place as any. So please join me. We're going to explore all of these themes in later panels, which I'm looking forward to. But for the moment, please join me in thanking what's been an excellent panel. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me. It's always a pleasure.
Well, it's been great. It's been great to have you.